You snooze, you lose. That is a lesson Javier learned here today. While he is still out searching for an ATTE, we went out and picked one up without him. What is up, everybody? The Brick Studs here, or I should say, the Brick Stud, with LEGO set 75337, otherwise known as the ATTE Walker. Now, this is a gorgeous set, and reasonably priced too, $139.99 US. for 1,082 pieces. So you can see that inflation has caught up to a little bit. The recommended building age of this is 9+, so way more than Javier is capable of handling. That is why I'm taking care of this. We're not going to talk too much about the box, even though the box is gorgeous. I mean, you have this amazing battle scene here going on with 8 minifigures and the little spider. I think they're spider droids, but we care more about what's inside. As cool as these pictures are, we want to see the actual set itself. So let's get building. There's one poly bag. Here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 poly bags. If you're looking for one for yourself that someone's selling, you're going to make sure it has 10 poly bags for it to be complete. The instruction booklet and the stickers. Now the build in itself. It wasn't very difficult at all. The 1,000 pieces, the 9 recommended building age, those were all pretty spot on. It took me, I think, a little over 2 hours to build everything, and I got stuck on a few parts when you're building the center chassis to get the little handle that allows you to lift up the ATTE. But overall, it was a pretty straightforward build. And what's funny is it's so straightforward. They mention that in the instructions. In a lot of the instruction booklets, they have you build in segments. They show what segment you're going to build for each individual piece of the Lego. This one, it just showed bag number 3, boom, ATTE, straight shot, you're going for it, no take backs. So I thought that was kind of funny that you were gonna build this all in one go. It was just connecting everything one piece at a time, no segments, no breaks, no nothing, just straight going for it. And what I didn't like about it was, this is a problem that a lot of the ATTEs have. There's a lot of gaps with the middle legs, and those were kind of hard to get to fit right back in to make it seem like a complete set. And even now, as I'm looking at it, you do see some gaps, so that's more for the imagination. It doesn't feel like a sealed unit, but I guess it's really hard to get around, so we'll let that one slide. Here it is, slowly trudging through the smoke of battle. It may take 5 minutes, it may take 10 minutes, but when you hear the sound of this thing clanking down the streets, you know doom is certain. The ATTE
is certain, because I was going everywhere looking for one of these, and you two knuckleheads didn't tell me you found one. I was looking for one. I was in line.
But I wanted to review it for myself. How'd that go, by the way?
That sucked.
I'm sorry.
I waited in line for nothing. They didn't have any. Before we talk about the set, we're going to talk about the figures. And finally, we get actual troopers and droids and no Jedi. I'm sick and tired of having more Jedi, okay? Now, we were mentioning about the 3 battle droids it comes with. But over the years, the battle droids really haven't changed. They're kind of the same over the thing, except for their
It's the
hand
same
turns
basic
sideways.
mold.
The only thing that's different about these guys is their guns are gray. Which, in the movie, they were black, so I don't understand why they're like gunmetal gray. That's just kind of threw me off
weird.
why they did that. I don't have no idea why. If you can explain to me why in the comments, then feel free, because I'm lost. But other than that, there's not much to talk about the battle droids. Moving on to the 3. So there's 3 actual 212 clone troopers. You can kind of customize them however you want with the visors and antennas.
Which is really cool. They did give you extra customizable pieces to build the clones how you feel.
Got basically 2 guys with high-powered rifles, and a guy with the pistol. Or not, I should say pistol. I guess that's like their standard issued blaster. But the thing I don't like about the 3 clones is, before I say anything else, all their defects and their battle-worn armor is the same throughout all 3.
It's like they're a bunch of lemmings.
Every time one falls, they all fall together. They all have the same scuff mark. But if you remember in the show or the movie, let's just say the movie, they are the white and orange like you would see. There's not much to like talk about because they are the exact same three, except for their faces. I think their faces are all the same, kind of like serious.
They're kind of angsty.
Because they die heroes. These three die heroes.
They do die heroes.
They die Clone Republic troopers.
Right before the turn.
Moving on to the Gunner, though. The Gunner is a little different. He's got scuff marks, so he's a little different based on these three, so you can tell he's battle worn. He does have a different helmet, though. He's got like the gold stripes on his helmet, kind of like Commander Cody. We'll talk about in a second. But I don't understand why he's got this like black bandolier thing around him.
Yeah, it's like an extra piece of leather or a bandolier or
getting shot. But if his head's out and sticking out, his head's gonna be shot by.
Although
sniper.
these gunners are lunatics, and I love it. Every single one of them. You have to be crazy to sit up here and fire this weapon.
Then you go to Commander Cody. He has the only one with a different face. His face is more like mad because he's evil. Because he automatically when he turns, he doesn't fight. He just blasts Obi-Wan out of
He
the
dies a
sky.
villain later.
So a little thing different about him though, he does have different scuff marks on his armor. He's got the orange arms, like the other guys have white. He's got full color knee pads, when the other guys do not. And then on the back, he's got like a backpack, but it was like drawn in. Totally done.
Yeah, they did. It looks more like lungs, like we're playing Operation Clone Lego Edition.
It's pretty sad. They couldn't give him a real backpack or any pauldrons or anything. They did not give Commander Cody justice in the set. So I can see why people
really
were upset on the decals of them. And then in the middle of his chest, he's got this giant gray like
Belt.
I don't know why it's gray everywhere except for one part of it's like super orange. It's like they got lazy with painting that.
Yeah, they misprinted that. I don't know.
I don't think, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I just don't like that. But other than that, I do kind of like the clones. There are issues with them, but overall they are okay. And one thing I did want to mention, I did kind of forget on the three clone troopers, their helmet. There is like a chunk missing off their helmet, the paint.
It's almost like when Jango Fett hits his head, they all have a piece of paint missing in the exact spot that they all would hit their heads to.
When they're all getting off the gunshot, they're ow, ow.
So they all just run around into things like animals. That's all they do.
I don't know if that was a misprint or if that is how they did it, but either way, that's poorly done in my honest opinion, why they all have that same hit mark on their helmet. Then you've got the DSD-1 Dwarf Spider Droid.
We're assuming.
Well, yeah, we're assuming, but I think that's what it really is. He is the thing you see in the movie where the clone troopers jumping on him, I think, and just shooting the crap out of him.
And it was a crab droid.
It could be a crab droid, or it's DSD's.
Someone needs to watch Star Wars more often.
Dwarf Spider Droid. And if you look at him, he's just a bunch of little thing pieces put together. There are different iterations of him. I think he's...
The older iterations, I feel, are more stable. This one with the little hooks.
It's like super hard.
Yeah, he just... Look at that.
He's like, ah! What's happening? He's like flying away.
He looks more goofy than he does serious. Like,
I know.
I'd be laughing. I'd probably die laughing at that face right there as it's trying to walk towards me like an animal. Like, this is just crazy.
No justice for him.
No justice for him at all. All right, now time for the menacing machine that brings down Obi-Wan Kenobi himself. The ATTE. Starting over here at the front, you have what looks to be like a push bar. I guess I have always wondered if that was a push bar. Is it a push bar?
I don't know.
I think it's a push bar. It's some kind of rail system to keep them safe. You have the 4 little guns that I've never really seen them shooting. Have you ever seen them shooting? I don't pay attention enough, as you can tell. And then you have the front glass over here, and the front glass, so the pilot sits up, he looks out this front glass, he really can't see out of this bottom glass here, and he cannot see out of the 2 side glass that you have on either side of him because these 2 turrets are in the way. I've always found that kind of odd that they put 2 pieces of glass here with these guns. It's kind of like the Death Star, that guy looking away. The driver just has to close his eyes when these are firing.
Wait a minute, where's the driver?
That's another issue. There was no driver, it's just 3 clones, a gunner, and Cody.
No clone pilot.
Nope.
Who's
So one of
driving
these.
this flying umbrella?
When you get inside, I understand this feature, but I really don't like it. You have to pull off the front end. He just sits here with 2 little joysticks. There's not a whole lot going on, no computers or anything. And you have to pretend a crane is gonna lift him up. So if there's no crane, he's stuck in there. There's no way for him to get out. So if this thing's on fire and about to go, Captain goes down with the ship. Moving on, you have the top cannon here, the main cannon. This thing is quite formidable. And it comes with 2 lawsuit cannons.
No!
Those are gone forever. This is where the gunner sits. I do like how detailed it is. You have the main gun, you have this, I really don't know, it's on most of the cannons. I think it's some kind of sight or possibly like laser pointer, I'm not sure. Then you have little vents on the side which give it a cool just aesthetic, like maybe it's overheating. Then you have the seat, and the seat does not, it fits the gunner, but there's no studs keeping him in place, so he just slides around right there. And then you have your basic computer with some buttons on it. When you lift up the top hatch, you can almost get inside easily, and when you look on the inside, you see thermal detonators, something for the mechanics. There's really only a wrench in there, so it's kind of like, that's it. There's no drills, no soldering. You could just wrench some things and then break some things, and those are the only 2 options you get. Oh, there's a crate in there with some binoculars to see where you're going. Blast him! Continuing the outside, I did forget to mention that there is a sticker over here with some battle worn damage. So it's just like he scrapes this and gets some battle worn damage. You have battle worn damage on the left side, but not on the right side. These are both stickers just to give you different plating effects. And you do have the Republic insignias here on both sides. What I do like about the front and the back of this is it is layered to kind of give different points of plating, so it kind of feels like there's more armor than there really is, giving this more of a true tank aesthetic. You have right here in the center where the 2 legs are. I don't really like these 2 legs. They don't really touch the ground a whole lot. They kind of just slide on it. And you do have the center.
It's training wheels.
There are training wheels for those ones that, well, there is no driver. So they're training a new one.
Nope.
But you do have the handle here, and I mean, look at that.
So you could be on for the Republic!
And then you have more stickers along the back here. You have what looks to be like just some extra wires and then some more battle damage. And then again, they went opposites. On the left-hand side, on the back, there's no battle damage. And on the back, on the right side, there is some battle damage. Oh, I almost forgot. They did put a lot more detail into the armor surrounding the big legs here. On the iteration before this, it was just a printed piece. Now, I did like the printed piece, but they went ahead and they actually gave it 3D. It feels a lot more realistic, so I do appreciate that. All right, now the back end of this. This is where all the rest of the troopers would sit. The top, it opens up in 2 pieces. And you can jump down. At least they show you on the box. They kind of jump down. This is probably where they all get their helmets dented. They all probably just fall off like a bunch of lemmings back here. But you have a computer console that opens up, and there's a spot for the back gunner here. He can actually control the back guns with a little targeting array, which I find pretty cool. You do have a fire extinguisher. That's what I'm assuming this is.
Yeah, probably.
For when this thing goes up in smoke. You have a spot for 2 blasters. You have a coffee mug, so that way the commander can do commander things. He can oversee the troops from his spot with his coffee mug. Moving on to the back, you do have the 2 back guns, where it's the back gunner, which there's only 1 gunner too. There should be 2 gunners for the back gunner. They're missing a lot of characters on this set, but he can control the 2 guns from over here. And this whole thing sits on the 6 legs, like the 2 big ones that I mentioned earlier. There are 4 more legs, these little support legs. I do like the different pieces that, again, feel like it was actually welded together. Even though I do like the printed pieces a lot better.
Every time Phoenix salutes, I salute him back.
It's very hard to do this with these 2 here. The other 4 legs on this, it does actually rest on, and they do feel like they move the set forward. If you do squeeze them together, you can get them to go forward, kind of like kind of like a little slug. And then you do have all the extra little armor pieces on it that give it a lot more of a three-dimensional aesthetic.
Oh, it's like a hovercraft. Was this thing worth 130 US dollars?
140.
Was it 140?
139.99.
Wow, that's a lot of money. I mean, yes, and yes it is, because, I mean, it comes with clone trooper, it comes with droids, there's no Jedi, so you can kind of build your army. Is it expensive? Yes it is. And that's due to inflation probably a little bit. You know, it's gotta be.
And I'm kind of sad. I complain a lot that they don't give you Jedi like Kit Fisto or Plo Koon with these sets. Looking at these clones, even with their defects and the kind of offset, off-brand things about them, I want more. But do I want to spend $140 to get more of these?
So that means Lego release a battle pack for these guys so we can build our armies.
Please, Lego.
For the
Please.
Republic, for the Republic, for Obi-Wan, so they can just turn him and later on and just kill him, you know, because it's kind of sad. But we do recommend this Lego, but tell us what you guys thought about the review. If you have Lego, what do you feel about it? I mean, tell us in the comments below if you would buy this, would you recommend this? But I mean, said we do, and it has its problems, of course.
It does, but everything does.
We like Star Wars.
And this set, is it worth the $3 billion that it's going for on eBay?
Oh, no. And you know what's funny about that? This guy right here is going for $80 US on eBay. And we're going to tell you guys something. Do not buy that for $80 US. Not worth.
This set just released, and generally most Lego sets release for around an 18-month span, sometimes more, sometimes less. Lego investors try to corner the market with these things. You do have time. This set just released. Do not buy from Lego investors.
Scalpers. Because they're just making a profit off that, and they're causing the problem now. There was a shortage, as you know, in the United States of this Lego because of the misprint, but it's gonna be fixed. It's gonna be on the shelf. So don't, if you don't get it now, it's gonna be there. But you know, by Christmas, I guarantee that they're gonna be on the shelf.
And if it's not, go after him.
But I'm just saying, don't buy this thing for double the money because it's already expensive. So why would you give somebody else money for him to go buy 3 more just to sell it at double the price cost to cause more of the problems? So let those guys sit on those that they have while their shelves get restocked with more of these, and then you can go purchase it for the normal price. That's all we're warning people, is they are going expensive online, and it is not worth buying it from. It's not worth buying it almost from Lego. So don't go buy it from somebody else who's charging double the price.
Yep.
But we do thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button, as well as there is a little bell icon for more, you know,
for notifications for future videos.
Yes. And until next time, we'll see ya.